Hello, Toon Army. Let's be honest, it's been a rough few weeks for Newcastle United. Out of the FA Cup, injuries piling up, and to top it off, Anthony Gordon suspended for the Carabao Cup final. But amid all the setbacks, there's finally some good news, something that has given the squad a massive boost. And that good news, the return of Harvey Barnes. Yes, that's right. The 27-year-old is back in action after recovering from a thigh injury that kept him sidelined for a good chunk of the season. Barnes made his comeback in recent games, featuring off the bench against Nottingham Forest and Liverpool, before getting his first start in months in the FA Cup match against Brighton. While the result didn't go our way, having Barnes available again is a huge lift, especially with Gordon out for the final. Eddie Howe himself couldn't hide his delight. In his words, "Great to see him back, because we've really suffered with a lack of options in the wide areas." I think Harvey's return has been a massive lift for everybody, and he's right. The left wing position has been locked down by Anthony Gordon this season, and he's been absolutely flying. But with him out, this is the perfect chance for Barnes to step up and remind everyone what he's capable of. Now let's not forget how promising Barnes looked at the start of the season. He arrived from Leicester City with high expectations and made an instant impact. In his first few games, he bagged 4 goal contributions in 6 matches. That's the kind of threat we need back in the squad. But then, injuries hit and his momentum stalled. He's only managed 5 goals and 1 assist in 28 appearances this season, and his last goal came all the way back in December. That being said, Barnes is a natural goal scorer. He's got the movement, the finishing, and the creativity to cause serious problems for defenders. The only issue, he still needs to regain full match sharpness. Eddie Howe admitted it himself. Barnes is fit, but he's still working his way back to his best. And let's be real here, the timing couldn't be better, with Newcastle fighting to finish the season strong. This is a huge opportunity for Barnes to re-establish himself as a key player. With Gordon unavailable, there's no better time for him to step up and deliver. Toon Army, what do you think? Can Harvey Barnes make the difference for us in Gordon's absence? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. That's it for part 1. Let me know if you're ready for part 2, where we'll dive into the latest on Anthony Gordon's suspension and how Eddie Howe is handling the situation. Alright, Toon Army, let's dive into part 2. Now we've talked about Harvey Barnes stepping up in Gordon's absence, but let's not ignore the elephant in the room, Anthony Gordon's red card and suspension. It was a moment of madness. A straight red after lashing out at Brighton's Jan-Paul van Hecker, pushing both arms into the defender's face. No arguments, no appeals. It was a clear red. And now Gordon is banned for 3 games, including the Carabao Cup final. That's a massive blow. We all know how crucial Gordon has been for Newcastle this season. His pace, work rate, and ability to create chances have been game changers. He's been one of our best players, constantly driving the team forward. So, losing him for such an important match. Brutal. Naturally, there were questions about whether Newcastle would appeal the decision. Eddie Howe admitted that the club looked into it, but in the end, they decided against it. Why? Because they knew they had no chance of winning. You have to look at it and go, does this have a chance of being successful? If there's no chance, what's the point of appealing? Howe explained. And honestly, he's got a point. The last thing we needed was an unsuccessful appeal that could extend the ban even further. So the focus had to shift. How would Gordon react? Would he be frustrated, angry, or let his head drop? Absolutely not. This is where things get interesting. Instead of sulking, Gordon showed pure professionalism. According to Howe, Gordon returned to training with the same energy and intensity as ever. I think he's very quickly come back to us. Trained really well. You wouldn't know there's a disappointment there. Huge respect to him for that. That's the mentality we want at Newcastle United. Gordon knows he made a mistake, but instead of dwelling on it, he's channeling that energy into supporting his teammates. And that's massive. Let's not forget, Newcastle have been hit hard with injuries. Sven Botman is out. Lewis Hall is out. Add Gordon's suspension to that list. And it's been a tough few weeks for the squad. But as Howe put it, these setbacks mean one thing. It's always someone else's opportunity. And that's exactly where Harvey Barnes comes in. With Gordon out, Barnes has the perfect platform to prove himself. He's had a stop-start season, but this is his chance to grab that left wing spot and make it his own. So, as frustrating as Gordon's suspension is, it could end up being a blessing in disguise. It forces other players to step up, and if Barnes can rediscover his early season form, Newcastle could still come out on top. But what do you think, Toon Army? How big of a loss is Gordon? Can Barnes fill the void? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. That's it from me today. Stay strong. Newcastle fans, we've faced adversity before and will come out stronger. Until next time, take care and HOWE the lads.